Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. I'm George Moriarty here with Jim Cramer. How you doing this morning, Jim?
How are you, George?
Good to see you. We're back, and you made a very interesting statement recently. You like a bond. You're a stock guy.
Yeah, no, I used to trade. A lot of misperceptions about me, which is fine. The people know more about me than they do about anybody else that's ever been in this game. And I look at the 10-year, and you can hear all the stories. It's going down in value. Interest rates are going up. Interest rates are going up. And you got to recognize that it's really a stock. Okay, it's a stock. The 10-year is a stock. It comes at 100. The IPO is at 100. Right. It falls to 94. The yield goes higher. So suddenly you got a piece of paper that yields 5 and change. That's down $6. It went to 5 1/4 last night. Well, do you like 5 1/4? Well, you know what? Hard to find 5 1/4 in the stock market with the potential of a snapback. Because of the way the treasuries trade, you can make 2 points like that. Mm-hmm. And they're very liquid, obviously the most liquid things in the world. So I look at that piece of paper, and rather than thinking Armageddon's coming, I think that piece of paper's overshot. It was at 4.75, suddenly it's at 5 1/4. That's a vicious move very quickly. And you almost have to bet that there'll be a counter move, even if it may not be back to 4 and change. But you'd be able to pick up a little gain there. So my mind is on, the corollary for stocks is, if that doesn't work, then you're not going to get the financials moving, you're not going to get the drugs moving, you're not going to get the foods moving. Those all key off the 10-year, particularly the biotech. So the 10-year is the piece of paper to be watching of all the different stocks. I said that Texas Instruments of the stocks because you want to see if there's follow-through from that semi. That semi obviously very strong. But I would much rather just watch the 10-year. I think the people who are trading stocks and investing in stocks who do not have the 10-year on their screen are missing why the stocks are trading where they are.
Interesting question, though, for people who aren't familiar on how to get out there and trade these 10-year and don't even know what a par handle is. Let's say, is the TLT something you should consider here? How can you trade that from an ETF? Treasuries. You just trade the Treasury direct?
Yeah, you trade the Treasuries. And, if you're a trader, it's kind of like, all right, well, look, you need to know how to do it as a matter of course. You're untrained. You're not trained well if you don't know how to trade treasuries. So people who are just focused, and a lot of people since they started in the last 7 or 8 years never traded treasuries because they've been flatline. If you don't trade treasuries and you're attempting to trade stocks, just go buy 1 million of them and flip them. Just learn how to do it. Go find someone at your desk or someone who's traded treasuries because it's a very important thing to know how to do. There's a question in Stock Picker today in answers, which is, Jim, could you help me? How do I set up a hedge fund? I never answer that. Right. And the reason I never answer that is because I didn't leave the hedge fund to go become a tutor of hedge funds. But I will tell you there's certain things that you need to do to be a better investor. And one of them is to be able to trade treasuries. Maybe in another life I will help people set up hedge funds. But my goal has always been to help the individual investor, not the institutional investor. Let others do that.
And the important thing, it's interesting you mentioned 1 million because these things are so liquid, people have no idea
right, but
how
I'm saying
quickly they
if
trade.
You're trading, now most people, if you're just investing, you're picking 5 stocks, you're doing what I talk about on Mad Money, no, you don't have to trade treasuries. But if you fancy yourself a trader, you should understand how to trade treasuries.
If you're a pro, you got to know where the 10 is and what's it doing.
Exactly.
There you go. That's Wall Street Confidential. I'm George Moriarty, executive editor of TheStreet.com, here with Jim Cramer, markets commentator. Stay tuned for more from TheStreet.com TV.